Okay, don't know if this is going to record sound, but I'm on the road up to Kintamani. I have two cameras going, the Burka, big GoPro, and DJI's Lago Pocket. It's a beautiful day. Everybody is wearing masks.
Good morning and welcome back to my no-name channel, and my name is Bruce Pullman, and today I'm taking a road trip. This is a couple of days ago and going up to Ubud, or down to Ubud from Singaraja, and we're going to go through Kintamani and take a look at what's happening up there, as well as Tegallalang, and then walk around Ubud and see what's happening, because life here seems normal in Singaraja, but I wanted to see what it's like outside, because there have been some really depressing videos about different places, different tourist places, and here's a place that's opened up, soft opening on the road here, and so I'm going to be slowing down the video as I come up to some places to eat and drink, because it's been a year since I've been on this trip, and I wanted to see what's happening in Kintamani. Wow, there are all these new places, and so right here, this is Tremount, and well, I didn't stop here, it's just cruising by, but there's Tremount here, and what I noticed was this is a Saturday morning, so this is a few days ago, Saturday morning at around 10:30, and I was surprised to see all of the people at these places as we go through. So domestic tourism in some places is definitely happening. Up in Kintamani, lots of people, as you'll see soon as we come up on these coffee shops, bars, and restaurants. And so life there, and you can see as we go through these villages, life is going on as normal here. You take a look at some of the videos that have come up on YouTube, and they're good. It's good that there's videos showing what's happening around the island, but Bali's not dead. Bali is not down for the count. Things are still happening here. There's still life in the island. People outside of the tourist bubbles of Ubud and Seminyak and Canggu. Well, Canggu is got lots of action, but that's because of the digital nomads and other foreigners that are there. So we're up in Kintamani. It's a beautiful morning, and we're coming up pretty soon on Batur Coffee, and then there's this whole group of new places that were not here a year ago when I went through here last time. Well, actually it was last July, and so we're going to see Batur Coffee coming up, and then Lago in Montana, Kintamani Coffee, Warung Makan Jowet, Kava, then Batur Geopark Souvenir, Tegukopi. So there's a whole lot here. This is Batur Coffee right here, and we're coming up on Lago, and early in the morning, early on a Saturday, places were packed with domestic tourists. So Lago, I saw people actually standing outside waiting to get in a line, and you can see as we come up here all the motorbikes and cars. Some of the people are locals, some domestic tourists from Jakarta. I saw some B license plates. And so this was hopping and it was good to see. Good to see that domestic tourists are here, even if they're local tourists or tourists from other islands. But what does that say about what's going on in Ubud and Tegallalang, right? Two of the big areas that I'm going to go through besides Kintamani. So you see Kintamani, and you see a lot of locals doing their regular work. The economy outside of the tourist industry, and we've been hit, definitely. Our economy is down somewhere around 11%, 4,000 people out of work, full-time fired, and thousands of others laid off involuntarily, at least temporarily. And this is a Kintamani Coffee here, Warren Jowett. And so, yeah, people that are in the tourist industry, and one of my son-in-laws, his tourist business is, well, it's not going anywhere. But he's looked in other directions because besides the doom and gloom, Balinese and other Indonesians are resilient, and so they come up with other ways to make a living. So my son-in-law's got electric motorcycles that he's selling, and is involved in a green project. And so and my other son-in-law is working in supplying hotels with different kinds of cookware. And so people are working. In Singaraja, you really couldn't tell, and I'll talk more about Singaraja at the end of this video. So we're up here at Kintamani, and you can see things are happening here. Now, why are the domestic tourists up here? Well, just from what I've heard from some of my children, family members, young family members, they're up here doing selfies, getting a coffee, enjoying the cooler weather because it's really been hot in Bali. We're coming up on the wet season in another month or so. And so people come up, they get to have the beautiful views. I've heard from some reviews on TripAdvisor that, coffee is good here in some places. Might be a little more expensive some places than others. Service is supposed to be excellent. And so this is a good place if you're on the island. Stop up here, take a view of especially if you come up on a day like this, you take a view of the volcano of Lake Batur. This is really a lovely area, and now that they've stopped charging for people just driving through, it's even better. And so no charges until the start of next year. And you see here, this is the Tegukopi. Parking lot is full. They've got the parking guy out there in front. And so we're going to be taking a turn off here in just a minute after we get through the restaurants and coffee shops and a couple of places that sell alcohol. And then we're going to be heading down south. So, enjoy the trip. I'll catch up with you when we get down to Tegallalang. Okay, and here we go, the turnoff, and we're on the road down to Ubud, and we'll be going through Tegallalang, and we see local folks down here still doing their thing. And here's Tegallalang, and it is empty. This time of the year, the streets are usually packed, cars, traffic, people down in the rice fields doing their selfies. And so, yeah, definitely in areas that are dependent on tourism, yeah, this is what you see. Slow. But once we get out of those areas where tourism is not the overwhelming economic activity. We see life is going on pretty much as normal, and here we go into Ubud, past the famous Arjuna statue. And what do we see on the main road here? This is Jalan Raya Ubud, and yeah, it's pretty empty. This is another area that's usually packed. But I was surprised because I've seen some of these videos about Ubud. Ubud is empty, Ubud is dead. Yeah, it's not empty, it's not dead. It's empty of tourists. I didn't come across many tourists. I have to say, in the 2 days that I was here, I maybe came across 30. But a lot of places in Ubud that I didn't get to. And so, well, if you're a local or even a local foreign resident like me, it's kind of nice to be able to wander around Ubud with all the traffic. Now, what about work? Well, not all the shops are closed here. Not all the restaurants are closed. Over the area that I've walked through during the 2 days, there may be 50% of places were open, and this is Jalan Kajang, and this is where I stayed for the last 31 years. I stayed at a homestay up here, and so I'm going to dump my bike here and then take a walk. And so we're going to walk down Jalan Kajang, and if you've been on Jalan Kajang, you know this is the street that has the tiles with people's names on them. This is a restaurant, a little local restaurant I eat at all the time. You notice the bouncing here in the video, and this is the Osmo Pocket. And Osmo Pocket, if you don't know what that is, it's this little gimbal, and it's so light that when you walk, you get this little bounce. And some people that use the Pocket say you have to do the ninja walk. Well, I'm not a ninja walker, and with the speeded up video, you get the bounces even more. There's another restaurant open, okay, and some shops closed. So you got shops closed and open. Not a lot of people shopping. There was an article about a month ago, and I talked about it on my COVID Bali 19 updates, and local from the government from Gianyar said the domestic tourism is not really helping us a lot here in Gianyar, in Ubud. And yeah, that looks like I didn't see a lot of local tourists here as opposed to up in Kintamani, where you had lots of local tourists. What do they want? They wanted to come up for some views and some coffee, maybe go home, do a day trip. So down here, a little different. Ubud has become a tourist town, but people are working, and I've talked to some locals while I was here, and I was talking to a farmer up in the paddies, the rice fields, just above Jalan Kajang, and he said, I hate to say it, but it's kind of nice to have Ubud get back to the way it used to be, even though I know that a lot of people in the tourist industry are hurting. He said, you know, my life goes on, and this is one of the reasons that I used to work in the tourist industry, but I went back to farming because I know I have food, and my family has food. And so here's another example of why Bali needs to diversify its economy. You take a look at Buleleng, where there's less than 50% of the economic activity is related to tourism, and things have been going on there like normal. You take a look at places like Tegallalang and Ubud to another degree, and you see that in the tourist area, yeah, things are really slow. The homestay that I was staying at, the owner said, yeah, it's Seppi. There's not many people. And they're getting by, though, because they have other income sources. They're not just dependent on that. And so as long as people in the family have other income sources besides that, and here's the Ubud market, famous place for a tourist to shop. Some places were closed, some places were open. There wasn't a lot of business going on, a local cop. And for people that said that you don't wear, people that don't wear masks and say they don't know about it, there was a cop sitting there. There was a big sign that says wear your mask. When I was in Ubud, local people, almost, say 95% estimation. Tourists, less than 50% were wearing masks. And I was in one shop looking at some clothes, and some tourists walked in. There was a hand sanitizer. It said, please wash your hands and wear a mask. Tourists walked in, didn't do the hand sanitizer, didn't wear a mask, even though all the locals in the shop, even though the shop clerks were wearing masks, these foreigners didn't. And so that's a big difference. It's just, I've done my mask rants before. And so here I'm up on the trail into the rice paddies, and I came up here, I did a little drone flight, and what would be a video of Ubud without ducks, right? Ducks in the paddies. And so we're gonna go back, and this is the little trip here, and we're on the way home. And this is Monday morning, and going through Kintamani. What a fog. And wow, this was really bad, and it went on for about 25 kilometers. Get down to Buleleng, and Buleleng is always sunny. I have to say, as a 31-year resident of Buleleng, this is my favorite part of Bali. And you see, it's busy here. Everybody's going about their activities, and we're going to be coming up on the one of the main markets in this section of town, and you see it is jammed. People are there shopping. This is an early Monday morning, about 7:30 in the morning, and everybody's there, and everybody is wearing masks. Now, one of the differences that I found with Buleleng in terms of the masking is the police here are enforcing the mandatory mask wearing, and I didn't see any police when I was down in other areas of Bali doing that. So it's we're just about home, and we're going to be coming into the city. This is, we could call it the suburbs, and so let's just finish up, and I'll catch up with you right at the end. And here we are, and this is Jalan Diponegoro, downtown Singaraja, our CBD, if you can call it that. And you see Monday morning, and everybody is out shopping at the market. And we're going to take a side road here, Little Gang. This is how I get home, and we'll come up on another little local market here, right in this area. And again, people are out early in the morning shopping for food for the day. And zoom down here, this is Jalan Patimura. If you've seen my Singaraja videos, you've already seen this part. And here we are back home, and thanks for viewing, and stay safe.